Okay, let's dive right into this explainer. We're doing something highly practical today. We framed this as a hands-on boundary workshop specifically designed for busy tech professionals, engineers, and educators who are carrying a massive cognitive load. If you've ever felt like your career is driving your life rather than the other way around, you are exactly in the right place.
I want you to actually say this phrase out loud wherever you're sitting right now. Work, life, balance. Just say it and kind of chew on the hidden bias that's baked right into the language we use every single day. Did you catch it? Notice what gets the weight there. The word work literally comes first. By sticking work at the front of the phrase, we're subconsciously framing life as just, a counterweight, like it's not the actual point of our existence. Work becomes the primary noun, the center of gravity, and life is just this tiny thing we desperately try to squeeze in to offset it. It's totally backwards. So today's explainer is structured as a practical masterclass. We'll be hitting the linguistic trap, the life work reframe, tech as a tool or taskmaster, rest as cognitive rigor, an actionable calendar audit workshop, and sustainable leadership. The whole goal here is to help you shift your mindset and build some rock-solid boundaries right now. Part 1. The linguistic trap, the hidden bias in a phrase. Let's talk about how language shapes our cognition, right? Especially for highly educated folks like us, engineers, researchers, educators. Think about the sheer investment we make in our expertise. We're talking doctoral programs, multiple master's degrees, professional certs, literally endless nights of studying. And because we pour years, sometimes decades, into building up these credentials, it becomes dangerously rational to just let work become our whole world. We basically convince ourselves that because we worked so hard for the expertise, well, the expertise has to dictate our lives. Moving on to part 2, the life-work reframe, sequencing, not shrinking. What's super fascinating here is understanding what we are not doing. Life work absolutely does not mean working less. The author of our source material, Don Rivera Diaz, is an AI and ML engineer who maintains an 800-day LEET code streak and is simultaneously writing a 200-page AI textbook. The guy clearly loves to work. But this perfectly illustrates the paradigm shift we're talking about. It's not about shrinking your ambition. See, work life is compartmentalized. Work is the star of the show. Life work is integrated. It's about sequencing your identities so that life actually leads, which, ironically, is what gives your work true human purpose. And look, for those of you juggling all these intersecting roles, maybe you're a parent and a professional, a caregiver and a scholar, a first-gen grad student, or a community anchor, that cognitive load is incredibly heavy. The guilt of having a fragmented self, feeling pulled in a million different directions, oh, it is so real. You end up feeling like you're half present at the family dinner table and maybe half present in your design meetings. Which brings us to a really crucial point. You can block your calendar, sure, but you cannot block your nervous system. Compartmentalization is just a short-term band-aid, and eventually it leaks into every room if you don't integrate your identities. Like, you can draw a neat little color-coded box on your Outlook calendar, but your nervous system, it doesn't just instantly switch off the anxiety of a massive software deployment the second you walk into your living room. Integration really is the only way forward here. All right, part 3, tech, tool, or taskmaster, surviving the always-on era. Let's get real about the technology we use versus the boundaries we desperately need to set. AI and edtech tools will absolutely colonize your unguarded hours if you let them. Why? Because machine learning models literally don't sleep and the cloud is always on. While our tools offer us massive leverage, they don't have a natural off switch, so you have to build systems that serve your life goals, not just your productivity metrics. Think about it this way. If your tech stack is smart enough to reduce latency by 70%, it is absolutely smart enough to send you offline at 6 p.m. Honestly, the most important configuration in your entire workflow isn't an API key, it's your personal boundaries. Part 4. Rest as cognitive rigor, pushing back on busyness. Let's talk about how academic and tech cultures dangerously code rest as a weakness. You know exactly what I mean, where people wear all-nighters like there's some kind of badge of honor. We need to completely redefine rest through the lens of cognitive science. Biologically speaking, rest is when your brain actually consolidates learning, surfaces novel connections, and recovers its executive function. So rest isn't slacking off. It is a strict, non-negotiable biological requirement for solving genuinely hard, complex problems. This specific framing changes the whole game.
Rest isn't a reward you earn after doing enough work. It's an input your best work requires. If you are training complex ML models or designing secure systems or, raising kids, you simply cannot show up running on empty. We have to stop treating rest like a prize at the end of some grueling marathon and start treating it as the premium fuel you need to even get on the starting line. Okay, part 5, the Calendar Audit Workshop Actionable Strategies.
Time for the practical workshop phase of this explainer. Let's turn all this theory into an actionable playbook.
Now, I really want you to ask yourself, does your time allocation actually match what you say you value? Audit your calendar and look for that surprising and often painful gap between your stated values and where your hours are actually disappearing to. If you tell everyone health and family are your top priorities, but your calendar shows 60 hours of back-to-back meetings and 0 hours of exercise or family time, well, your budget is broken. To fix that broken budget and to calm down that nervous system we talked about earlier, you need to build small transition rituals. I'm talking about simple things like taking a quick 10-minute walk, putting on a specific playlist, or just writing a 5-minute journal entry. These little actions basically signal to your brain, hey, one chapter of the day is closing and another is opening. And this is absolutely crucial. Communicate these rituals explicitly to your people. Name your goals to your colleagues and your family. They aren't mind readers, right? Inviting them into your boundaries makes it so much easier for everyone to respect them. Finally, part 6, sustainable leadership, the bigger picture. Let's zoom out for a second and look at the massive opportunity and, frankly, the intense pressure of living through this AI-accelerated era. Life-work balance is actually a form of sustainability. The world desperately needs deeply human, grounded professionals to lead this technological integration without completely burning out in the process. So this isn't just some fluffy personal wellness tip to make you feel good. Making life work your default operating system is a matter of long-term professional and societal survival. You're always going to do your best work when it flows naturally from a full life. I'll leave you with this somewhat provocative thought to challenge your current setup. If your tech stack is smart enough to reduce latency by 70%, are you smart enough to log off? Take a really hard look at your calendar this week. Are your digital systems built just to serve your productivity metrics, or are they built to serve your life? Thanks for joining me on this explainer, everyone. Now seriously, go out at the calendar.